Dear students, today we are going to see the use of pointers that we have discussed in the last class. We have already got introduced to what pointers are. Now we are going to see the basic difference between function call by value and call by reference. Okay, what are the difference between these and how pointers are useful in these two concepts. So these are basically the learning outcomes. The first one is reinforcing the concept and the use of C pointers. We have already seen C pointers. The concepts are going to get reinforced. And the next one is the difference between call by value and call by reference. We'll be considering a simple example and we will know or we will understand how this is functioning. So the first one what we are going to talk about is call by value. So the function call is by passing values. So what we do here is that we will be sending a copy of the value what we want to manipulate into the function, and the function will be manipulating the copy only, which means that the original value what we have in the variable will remain intact, or the operations inside the function will be manipulating only the copy, not the original variables. And that's why this method is called as passing values rather than passing variables. So we are passing the values in the variable, not the variable as such. So if you want to have an example of call by value, we know that we are having like a Lenskart. Okay, a website Lenskart is available. Or similarly, if we have something called as a virtual saloon, okay, we want to check the different hairstyles. So what we does is, we'll be sending or we'll be passing our photographs to them, to the website, we'll be uploading it, and we can try different hairstyles. Okay, when these different hairstyles are tried, it is the copy or on the photo they are working on it. It's not getting reflected in our actual head. But we are going to an actual salon, what happens? We are giving them our head itself, and they will be trying all those styles in our head. So once one trial or one style is trialed, what happened is that our original head or our head will be reflecting the changes directly. In the earlier case, we can undo that at any time because our original is not getting affected, only our photograph or our copy is getting affected with different styles. So that is the basic difference. So call by value is like a virtual saloon where you are sending your photograph. Now we are going to see call by reference. So it is like going to an actual saloon where they are going to actually style your hair. So it is going to affect the original variable or us, not our photograph or a copy. So that is basically call by reference. So function call by passing address or memory location. So we have seen what pointers are. Pointers store memory locations or the address. So in call by reference, we'll be passing the pointer instead of variable, which means we are sending the address of a location or address of a variable, which basically the original variable itself. It's not the copy what we are sending the original variable. Here the address of the variable will be passed to the function. The function will be receiving the address of the variable using pointer names. Okay. This star is called as dereferencing operator. We have seen it in the last presentation. Ampersand or and sign is referencing operator, which is address. When we use an asterisk or a star, it is dereferencing operator. So when I say star PTR name, which basically means that whatever address that is stored in PTR name, the value of that address is getting accessed. Okay, we have clearly explained what it is in the last presentation. If you are finding it a bit difficult, just go through the last video, which will help you to get clear picture of what this dereferencing operator does. Thus, the operations inside the function will be manipulating the value stored in the memory location pointed by the pointers. Okay, so here we are giving our real head, just like going to the saloon ourselves rather than sending a photo to the website. Hence, the manipulations will be happening to the original variable itself, not on copies. So this is call by reference. Now we are going to use a simple program which will explain the functioning of this call by value method and call by reference method. So first we are going to see the call by value method. So this is a simple program. Okay. So going through the different line of code, we will be able to understand what the functioning is. Say, I have defined the library function has been included, then function prototype is getting declared. So function prototype is void square int n, which means that we are not expecting anything returned from the function, and the function will be accepting an integer variable. Now the main body, we defined a variable num which is having data type int. Then here I'm using the printf statement, enter the number to be squared, and that is getting stored in the num. Okay, this and sign is a referencing operator, which basically means that when I put and num, we have been using this unknowingly from the very beginning. This and num actually means that whatever value the user has entered, store it in this corresponding memory location. That's what we are doing by writing this referencing operator. Okay, so whatever the value the user is entering will be saved in the address pointed by this particular num. Then I'm calling the function square num. When I use this square num, so what is happening is that I am using the variable num, okay, and the function will be copying the value of num into the value n. So whatever the value of num, a copy is getting created and the copy will be stored in n. Say if num is having value 10, by calling this function through this statement, what happens is that n will be assigned a value 10, which is the copy of the value of num. So we have the function definition. Okay, I'm going to the function definition. Once the function call is done, it's going to the function definition. In function definition, n is received. N will be whatever value we have entered for num will be stored in n, and all the manipulation will be happening for the variable n, not the variable num. So the data in num will remain intact and data in n will get changed. N is equal to n into n. Basically, we are finding the square, and whatever the square is, I'm printing it. So whatever the new value in n, that will be printed. Okay, printf the value in the variable num after function execution. So I want to know whether the variable num has undergone any change. That's what I'm trying here. So I'm printing whatever value that is there in num, and I'm ending the program by returning a value 0 to the main function. When I run this, the output what I'm going to get is, the first line is enter the number to be squared. Enter the number to be squared. I entered a value 5 which got stored inside num, and square num, which means square 5. It goes here. The value 5 will be copied to variable n. Now n equal to n into n, that is n equal to 5 into 5, which is 25. So that 25 square of the number is 25 will be printed. It again goes back. Now here printf the value in the variable num after the function execution. The value in variable num after function execution. I'm printing num. I can see the value in num has not got any changes. It is intact. Okay. So it is like sending your virtual copy, your photo to the website, and they are trying the different hairstyles on the copy, not on you. Okay. So this is a call by value. We have done enough programs in this sort when we were handling the sessions on functions. Now we are going to see the call by reference method. So this is a call by reference method, a program written call by reference method. Here you can see some differences. Here the prototype has got a change. Earlier it was int n, now I had defined it as int star num ptr. Okay, when I define something like this, it is the way we define pointers. So now the system will know, or the control will know, num ptr is a pointer, and whatever the value that is going to be stored in num ptr will be an address, not a value. Okay, so this is a function prototype. Now in main, and I declared a variable num having integer data type. I asked the user to enter the value to be squared, read into the and num, and I'm calling square and num. Earlier what I was doing was I was calling square num, but now it is and num. which basically means that through this function call, I am sending an address, whatever the address of num, that address is getting sent to the function. Okay, it is sent to the function, and we have a pointer defined here which can receive address. So whatever address I am passing here will be received in this pointer numptr. Okay, and now what I am doing is I am doing the operation on the pointer. So when I write dereferencing operator numptr, that is star numptr, whatever value the address in numptr is pointing to, that will be changed. Okay, so the value stored in the address in numptr equal to value stored in the address of numptr times the value stored in address of numptr. So I basically get the value squared. So here I am using the pointers rather than the values directly. So dereferencing operator is used so that the value stored inside a pointer can be accessed. And now I am just printing the value. And again I come back here. I am checking what the value of the variable num after the function execution. So let's see what the output is. So the user entered the value 5, and this function happened. I got 25, and when I try to print the value, here what I'm getting is 25, not 5, which means that the value in the num, variable num, has got modified. So this operation was happening directly on this variable itself, not on its copy. So this method is called as call by reference method. So if we compare these two methods, so I have put the two codes side by side, you can see what the basic differences are. So one difference is in the prototype. So here it was the parameter which I am, okay, here it is integer, here it is a pointer. Okay, that is the very first one. If we are using call by value method, we'll be using a integer or a variable. If we are using call by reference, we'll be using pointers. And then the difference is here. So here we are directly using the variable n equal to n into n. Here what we are using is that the value pointed by the address in numptr equal to the value pointed by, we have mentioned that earlier itself. So here the operation was happening on the pointers. So this is the simplest example which can show you the difference between call by value and call by reference method. Okay, call by value is working on copies, call by reference is working on the actual variables or the address. Okay, thank you.